I laughed. Not loud. Not cruel. Just a soft, breathless laugh that escaped before I could stop it. The dining room froze. My sister stood there, glowing, her hand raised to show off the ring that used to be mine. My mother's smile collapsed like wet paper. My father stared down at the table as if it might open and swallow him whole. And the man standing beside my sister, my former fiancé, flinched, because he knew that laugh. It meant I'd already won. She leaned into him, smug, rehearsed, enjoying the moment. I wanted you to hear it from us, she said sweetly. This is my husband. I nodded slowly. Looked at his suit, tailored too tight like everything else in his life. At the watch he never paid for. At the woman wearing my wedding dress, altered badly at the waist. Then I looked him in the eyes and smiled. Congratulations, I said calmly. You married my debt. This story didn't start at that dinner table. It started years earlier. With the kind of love that makes you lower your guard. I met him in a bookstore cafe on a rainy afternoon. The kind where the windows fog and time feels slower. He asked to borrow my pen. I gave him my number instead. He talked about markets like they were chessboards. Moves. Counters. Long games. He said he admired my patience. I believed him. We built a quiet relationship. No flashy dates. No grand gestures. When he proposed, it was just us. No cameras. No audience. Because he knew I hated spectacle. My sister cried louder than anyone. My parents called him a catch. And I told myself, that meant something. 6 months. That's all it took. I left to volunteer overseas. Clean water systems, rural clinics, long days, bad signal. I trusted them. I trusted my parents to watch the house. I trusted my sister to help with wedding fittings. And I trusted the man who promised he'd wait. The first warning came as a joke. A stranger messaged me online. Congrats on the wedding. Wrong date. Wrong name. I laughed it off. Then another message. Then a photo. My sister's hands. Unmistakable. Resting on a sleeve I knew by heart. Something cold settled in my chest. But I didn't rage. I didn't call. I asked for more. Because distance doesn't make you blind. It makes you observant. Time zones are useful when you need distance. I watched quietly. Joint dinners. Bank notifications forwarded to the wrong email. A change of address filed while I was gone. They thought absence meant ignorance. It didn't. It meant clarity. The marriage license was public. The date sat neatly in the middle of my absence. And there, clear as ink on paper, were my parents' signatures as witnesses. I stared at that PDF until my hands stopped shaking. Then I breathed. Slow. Measured. I didn't confront them. I planned. Here's what they didn't know. 3 months before I left, I moved my assets into a blind trust. Not because I distrusted him, but because I trusted myself. My grandmother taught me something early. Love is a feeling. Not a contract. He signed a prenup he never read. He laughed when I suggested separate accounts. He always laughed when he thought he'd won. He believed my wealth was liquid. It wasn't. It was layered. Protected. Conditional. While overseas I made calls. First my attorney. Then my accountant. His former business partner. The one he buried under an NDA and a smile. We compared notes. And the picture came into focus. Leveraged bets. Quiet defaults. A lawsuit waiting for a name. So I gave it one. I came home early. Said nothing. Filed quietly. Notified the bank of unauthorized access. Reported identity misuse. Because forging my signature is still a crime. Even if you share blood. I let the dominoes line up. They invited me to a welcome back dinner. The kind meant to corner you. My sister wore my dress. My parents rehearsed their explanations. And he practiced his apology face in the mirror. That's when she introduced him. That's my husband. And that's when I laughed. Soft. Unafraid. Tell her, I said gently to him. Tell her what you married into. His jaw tightened. Nothing, he said. So I did. The accounts you think are mine, I said calmly, are empty. The properties? Owned by the trust. And the trust dissolves upon breach. I looked at my parents. You witnessed a felony. My sister's smile cracked. You're lying. I slid my phone across the table. The lawsuit. The affidavit. The bank notice. The prenup clause. Highlighted yellow. She read fast. Her breath caught when she understood. He stood abruptly. I can explain. No, I said quietly. You can listen. I told them everything. The debt. The liens. The court date. Under her last name now. How marriage made it communal. How the ring was collateral. How the house was never his. The silence was surgical. My mother cried. My father wouldn't look at me. My sister reached for him. He stepped away. A week later the annulment failed. Too late. The paperwork was clean. The signatures were real. Love doesn't void contracts. Consequences don't care about intent. He called once. Voicemail only. He sounded smaller. I deleted it. My sister moved back home. She avoids mirrors now. My parents hired a lawyer. It didn't help. Some choices don't come with exits. I didn't take anything from them. I let the system do what it was designed to do. When fed the truth, justice isn't loud. It's precise. Sometimes revenge doesn't look like shouting. Sometimes it sounds like laughter in a quiet room. If this story gave you chills, like, subscribe, and tell us in the comments, what's the most satisfying revenge you've ever witnessed? His betrayal may be loud, but consequences, they're silent and permanent.